Good evening and welcome back to another episode of My Fiber Fun. Well, as promised, here is the tutorial for the market bag. I wasn't thinking, I guess I should have went to my table to do this, but you know what? This is my first tutorial, so I'll just hold things up as I go along, okay? Okay, so let's go with the tutorial. I want to keep it simple and sweet, and I will be pausing in between, so this video will not be as long as it could be. Okay, so here are the items that you're going to need to make this diamond mesh market bag. You will need, and now you can use any hook size of your choice. Just know if you use a smaller hook, the bag will not grow as big and it may not be as drapey. And where's my what did I do with my bag? Doggone it. You know what? I think it's way across the room and I'm not walking over there. But anyway, you saw the bag in the pre-tutorial video. So you see how drapey it is? I used the size I hook, and this is a furls, but I used a different hook for it. So any size I hook. I'm not good with millimeters. I think it's a 5.5. Just know size I. Okay. And then you will also need a second hook. When we do our strap and our border, and when we decrease at the end, we're going to go down a hook size. So you're going to need a size H hook for that, which is 5.0, I believe. I could be wrong on these millimeters. I just go by letters, okay? You're also going to need a pair of scissors, my trusty Gingers. You're going to need a stitch marker. And that's just to let you know when you've reached the end of a row. I like to use the stitch marker all the time. And for those of you who might need to weave in ends, I usually either crochet my ends in or I just leave them and I snip them, okay? You will need a darning needle. Okay, so if you're a professional, you might want to, weave in your ends if you have any. This bag really doesn't leave ends, I don't think. So let me put that right back in the thing because I know I'm not using that darning needle for nothing, okay? But anyway, I'll keep my scissors handy. Of course, I'll be using my stitch marker. Now, let me show you the yarn that I chose. I went into my scrap stash. Oh, now feels like a hair is in my eye. I went into my scrap stash, and these are the colors that I chose. Something totally different from what I would normally choose, but I had a lot of this, so I said, why not? Mint green. This is going to be the full bag. I'm not going to two-tone it. If you want to use a two-tone, a variegated yarn, however you want to do it, because that furls yarn would have been nice for one of these, but I want this bag to be a color that you all can see as I'm explaining the process and working it. So I chose the mint green. And then my secondary color, which will be that wide border that we're going to do, the 5 rows, will be this right here. It looks more like a beige. I didn't even know I had this, but here it is. So this is going to be what I will border it with. I could actually, if you want to make your strap the alternate color, you can do that. Be creative with it. However you want to do it, whatever colors you want to use, do it. I'm just showing you how to make the bag. So therefore, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's get started, you guys. Wait, let me make sure I have the right hook. Okay, the size I. And we'll put the H hook to the side. And then I'm going to hold this yarn up so you'll know what I'm doing. Now, I'm different from everybody else, because everybody tells you how to start it and everything. Whenever I start a project in the round, oh, look at here. Yarn Chicken. I won the other day, so therefore I'm wearing my Yarn Chicken champion button. And I decided to wear my microphone. I always forget to use it, but today I didn't because I want you to be able to hear me. Okay? Now, when people start, they always say the magic circle. Now, I'm going to prove to you. I know the magic circle. I know how to make one, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And speaking of hating, I am going to be doing a hot takes video soon. I love watching hot take videos. In fact, there's a new one up today by Moon Bay Crochet, and she is funny, you guys. Check her out, Moon Bay, Moonbae Crochet, and you will see. Okay, but anyway, I know how to make a magic circle. I just don't like them. Okay, so you wrap around twice if you're going to do it. Okay, I'll at least show you. Okay, so you wrap it, I think. Wait. Okay, you wrap it around your finger, and I always make the X. And then after you wrap it around, you stick the crochet hook in the middle of that X, and then you pull it. And this is your magic ring. Why I don't like it, number one, as you can see, I have manly hands, okay? So, and big fingers. So I always end up using too much yarn. So therefore, that's one reason why I don't like the magic ring. But as you can see, I just made it. And if I was to chain, I could chain, make my thing, pull it tight, and it would be perfect. But nope. I just frogged it. Okay, but if you want to make one, I just showed you how to make it. I'm not doing it again. How I do it is I just wrap a little piece, a little teeny tiny piece around the hook, and then there's my tail, and then I just chain it, and then I have a little tail which I'll either snip or I will crochet it in when I make this circle. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to chain. Now everybody says chain 4. Nope, I have manly hands, so I always chain 5. 3, 4, 5, and yeah, my ring is going to be a little big. Now everybody calls it the ring, so you're going to connect it right here, and then you're going to do a slip stitch. Now everybody calls this the ring. I don't, and you're getting ready to find out as soon as we start what I call it. What does it look like when you do a single crochet into the little ring? I call it the butthole. So we're getting ready to make the butthole, you guys. So what you're going to do is, now you can chain 1 to start the single crochet. I don't. I just start single crocheting. It's easy enough, and it keeps it even and everything. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to demonstrate 1 single crochet. I hope you're not trying to learn how to crochet through this video, because it's not going to work for you. Okay, I'm letting you know now. But if you are a crocheter, and you don't have to be, you can be a beginner as long as you know the 3 basic stitches: single crochet, well, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and triple crochet. If you know that, then carry on. If you don't know how to do a single crochet, nice knowing you. You can keep watching. Okay, so we're going to do, but I will do 1 single crochet into the butthole, as I call it. And there we have it. So we've done 1. We're going to do 11 more for a total of 12. And I will meet you back after I have single crocheted 12 single crochets, and it will begin to look like a butthole. The butthole is complete. Now you're looking at it backwards. Looks like a butthole, doesn't it? Look just like one. Okay, so yeah, it has the gap, but that's okay. It lets the bag get air, and nothing's going to go through that gap unless you have a crochet hook in the bag, and I would think with the diamond mesh stitch, you're not. Okay, so once you finish your butthole, what you're going to do is slip stitch into that first single crochet. It might be a little hard and a little tight. Oops, shouldn't have said that. But it is. So I just forced it through the stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch into, oops, just lost everything. I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch. And there it is. Butthole closed. It is complete, and this is how it should look, you guys. Okay, now, and we're still not going to chain up. I just don't when it's single crochets. Now I will chain up if I'm following a tutorial and it calls for it, but for the most part, for this bag, I don't chain up, and it's not going to make a difference one way or the other. It's still going to be perpendicular. It's going to be even. Okay, so you slip stitched in the first one. So you're going to go into the next single crochet, and you're going to do 2 single crochets. So here you go. 1, 2. Then you're going to go into the next one and do 2 more. 1, 2. So you're going to have a total of 20. It's either going to be 23 or 24 because we slip stitched in that first one. So it's going to be a total of 23, I believe. So I don't even count. I just go all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, 1, 2. So meet me back at the beginning. Okay, we are at the end of round 2, where you should have 2 single crochets in every single crochet. And so we're actually right at the beginning where I did that last slip stitch, but I didn't do a stitch in there. So actually there's a little gap there. So I'm going to slip stitch into that slip stitch. So it brings me precisely at the spot that where I started the last row. Okay. So now that you have that slip stitch in there, now comes the fun part. We start working the diamond mesh. Now, we're going to do a series of chains. Now, for a true diamond mesh stitch, most tutorials say to chain 5. I like to chain 4 for my market bags, but you can choose to chain the amount that you want to chain. You can, if you even want to do 7, 9, 3. I wouldn't suggest 3, but I mean, if you want it to be loopy, 7 or 9, it's going to be gappy, but it will still take the form of a diamond mesh. It's still the stitch. It's no rules to the stitch. But 5 is usually the standard size. I like to chain 4, and like I said in the pre-video, I like to chain 4 because number 1, it still has that diamond mesh look to it. I mean, you can see the definition of the stitch, and I don't like for things to fall through my bag. For instance, if I were to put my yarn chicken button in there with 5, it might fall through. With 4, I would trust it. Okay. So what we're going to do now, after that slip stitch, we are going to chain. I'm chaining 4. You can chain either 4 or 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. So what I'm going to do in that first single crochet is, once I've chained that 4, I'm going to work a single crochet into that single crochet, or, in the gap in between the single crochet. In fact, that's what you do. You're going to work in between your single crochets. Okay, so this is how the chain 4 diamond mesh look. Now I'm going to chain an extra to show you what a chain 5 looks like. If I were to chain 5, this is 5, and then put it in there, then this is how it would look. It would just make it a little bigger. Now, let me show you what a chain 7 would look like. 6, 7. This is what a chain 7 would look like. That's even bigger yet. And see, remember, your diamonds, they start off small, but they're going to get bigger as you go around and around. Once you get to row 5 with the diamonds, the diamond mesh stitch, you're going to notice that they're going to get wider and wider. So that's the reason why most people go with either 5. Wait, let's see. That's 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay. Most people go with either 5 or 4. I like 4 because for me, that's perfect. So it's going to start off looking small, but believe me, it's going to get bigger as we go along. Okay, so we're going to go in between those first 2 single crochets. After you do that, you're going to chain again. For the sake of time, we're going to say chain 4. But if you're chaining 5, you just know to chain 5. Then we're going to go in the next one. And we're going to do another single crochet. Then we're going to chain 4 again. 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go into the next one. And it's going to look like a little ruffle. And as you do this, it's going to ruffle up. But as you go around and around and around, it's going to bellow out and it will straighten out and it'll look really good. But right now we are on row 3, so we're just doing 1 diamond mesh per single crochet. So each single crochet that you see, you put the diamond mesh in it until you reach the end. When we reach the end, you're going to slip stitch into that stitch right next to the first diamond mesh, and that will complete the row. I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I am back. I am at the end of the row. Y'all, excuse my eye. It went to burning, and so I had to put a drop in it. Okay, now this is where the stitch marker is going to come in. No need to slip stitch or anything. What we're going to do after you've done your last one, which I've just done, wait, let me turn it around so you can see how it should look. Now, you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to do a diamond mesh into the first loop. See this loop here? You're going to do a single crochet into that loop, just like that. And that's going to begin your 1, 2, 3. That's going to begin your 4th row. So we're going into row 4 now. And so after you do that, then you're going to put the stitch marker. I'm doing that now, and then I'm going to show you. You're going to put the stitch marker right into that first diamond mesh because it's going to let you know that you will be starting row 5 next. So what we're going to do is for the next 2 rows, we are going to chain 4, 3, 4. You're going to chain 4, single crochet into the loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next loop. And I'm not even counting, you guys, so I can't say it's 23 or 24 at the end. You know, a lot of people do that, and that's fine, but I don't, you know, because we're just working in the round, and you know when you're at the end, however many you have, that's how many you're going to have the next time, unless you mess around and skip a stitch. And if you skip a stitch, you will definitely know, so you would know to frog it and go back and make that correction. So that's the reason why I'm not saying you should have 24 at the end of this row, 23, whatever. As long as you're not missing a stitch, you are okay. You have the amount, amount of stitches there. This isn't one of those projects because it's just going round in a circle. This one is not only is it forgiving, but I mean, it's just simple. It's to the point. So there's nothing fancy to it that you have to count. Now, if you were doing a different stitch, a chevron or something like that, then yes, you must count. But for this, heck no. So 1, 2, 3, 4, next. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, next. And that's a single crochet. And you see how it's looking. It's starting to form the diamond mesh stitch. They're going to be staggered like a bricklayer. So, you know, each row, you're going to have your open space, single crochet, open space, single crochet, but it will be every other stitch. So this is what gives it that diamond appearance. So now we're going to finish up this row, and then I want you to do row 5 also. So after you get to your stitch marker, continue around for one more row, and then we will come back at row 6, and that's when we're going to do our increase, and that will be the only increase we will do for the whole project. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy. Okay, so I will meet you at row 6. Don't forget now. Don't come back here after you just done this row. Your bag gonna be messed up. So make sure after this row, do the next row. Okay, shall return. Okay, I just completed row 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Shoot, now I'm getting messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all, what row are we on? Okay, because I can't have C to begin with. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we just completed row 5. Okay, so we're going into row 6. Now, I mentioned that we're going to increase, but we won't have to increase that much. What we're going to do, and I'm going to do this with you up until the increase, because I'm going to show you how to increase this. And that's just to make sure that our bag, because after this row where we're going to do a few increases, it won't be that many, 3 at the very most, possibly 4. I'm thinking it's going to probably be 4 increases. Once we do that, it's going to be ruffled. As you can see, it looks like a big ruffle. Don't worry about this. It looks like a big flower, actually. But as we go around and around and around and around to row up to row 20, this is going to straighten out. And it's going to begin to take, it's really not going to look like a bag until we do our decrease row, or until we go to the smaller hook size. Then it will take the shape of a bag. It's going to look like a big round circle up until we get to the final row of this. Okay, so let's start with the increase. Remember, don't forget your stitch marker. So I moved mine up when I went to the next row, and I'm quite sure you probably did too. Okay, so now chain your 4, and then we're going to go into that first diamond mesh, as I'm calling it, or that first space or first chain. Okay, now you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to go back into that same stitch again. That is your increase. See how it looks? It looks like a V. That is an increase. Okay, then you're going to place your stitch marker into that stitch, or into that chain rather. Now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just going to count it for you. We're going to do 1 diamond mesh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 diamond meshes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 diamond meshes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 diamond meshes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on that 5th diamond mesh, we're going to do another increase. And see how it's starting to straighten out already, just because we were going straight, but it's going to ruffle again because we're doing these increases. So we got 1, then we're going to chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going back into that same chain. So that's our second increase. So you're going to, in fact, no, I'm not going to finish the row with you. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next 5 again. I mean the next 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go into 1 of the chains, and my hand is locking up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? See, this is me, y'all. This is the life of Q. Stop. Okay. Okay. Got to do all that. Where's my squishy? What did I do with it? Here he is. This is what I use when that happens, okay? This thing. Somebody name him for me. Okay. Whew, that feels better. Now where's my hook? Okay. And I done lost count. Okay. I've done 1. Okay, this is the second one. Single crochet in the next space. 3, 3, 3, 3. Single crochet in the third one and the final one. And that's how I count it. 4, 4, 4, 4. And we go into the 4th one. Now, remember, the next one is the 5th one. So we're going to go into that one twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. And twice. Now we're going to go into the next 4. And so I will meet you at the end. So you're going to go into the next 4, and in the 5th one, you're going to do an increase, go into the next 4, and in the 5th one, you'll do another increase. So altogether, I think you're going to end up with 5 increases for this round. And this is round 6. So I will meet you back at round 7. Do your increases. Okay, you guys, I'm coming up to the end of row 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it is row 7. I think we were on row 7. Y'all, see, this being my first tutorial, y'all gotta pardon me. Now, we're at the end of row 7. Now here comes the fun part, you guys. Or should I say the boring part? Okay, first of all, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's go on into to start row 8 so that we can get our stitch marker in. Okay, so we're going into row 8 and we're putting our stitch marker in. Okay, now if you noticed, we had an increase 2 spaces before the end of the row, which means you're going to have an increase here and then almost right next to it. That's okay. It'll be okay. So I just miscounted. That's all. It should have been an increase every 6, I believe. Then it would have came out even. But it will not make a difference one way or the other. It's still going to you're still going to have the same effect. So here we go. Now this is row 8. And I looked, we're already at 27 minutes. Where are the minutes going? I'm pausing and carrying on. I'm thinking maybe the video is 5 minutes in. We're almost at 30 minutes. But hey, however long it takes, huh? But here comes the part that gets boring. It's going to be repetitive from here on in until we are at the final end of the final row. So from row 8, we're going to go row 8 to row 20. Now I'm going to come back at row 20, and if it's big enough, now my market bags over there, I counted the rows. It was 20 rows to each bag. So I'm thinking it's going to be 20, but we might have to go a few over. I'm not sure. But I'm going to come back after I've completed row 20. And if it's time to stop, I will say, okay, we're going to go on to the decrease round. But if it's not big enough, then we may do a couple of more rows. So that remains to be seen. So now I'm going to pause it and I'm going to work up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 12 more rows, you guys. Do 12 more rows. So use that stitch marker and go 12 more rows, and you're doing the exact same thing. See how it's turned into the diamond mesh stitch? So you're just going to chain 4, do a single crochet in every space around. No more increasing. Just keep going around and around. And then keep count of your rows. You'll be able to see them more clearly as you go along, because the ruffle is going to straighten out, and it'll just be a round, big giant doily. Actually, that's what it's going to look like, a doily. So just keep going around and around until you are at the end of row 20, and I will meet you back there, and then more than likely we will be getting ready to finish up the bag. Shall return. Going into row 15, y'all. See you in a few minutes. See how it's relaxed? It's starting to relax. I am back, you guys. I am back. Okay, I have completed 20 rows exactly. And looking at it, I think and I think you might agree that we should add 5 more rows. I know. But I'm thinking if we add 5 more rows, it's going to give it, and as you can see, it's starting to bowl up. It's starting to look like a bag, and it's wide. Okay, see how wide it is? So it's going to be a nice little width. You'll be able to use it for whatever, beach bag, whatever, because it will stretch. It's very, very flexible. Okay, 5 more rows is going to give it just a wee bit, maybe an inch more width, which is good. And it's going to give it probably about another inch in height, between an inch and 2 inches. Okay, it might not look much bigger after we do 5 more rows, but what it's going to do is set the stage for when we do that trim. Now, I had mentioned that the trim would be done in a different color. Yes, the final row of it will be, but the initial trim, we're going to do 4 rows, and we're going to stick, that is, unless you want to change colors. Now, you can do whatever, be creative. But me, I'm going to stick with this color, so I'm going to do, when it's time to decrease after row 25, so row 26, 27, 28, and 29 will be all single crochet. The first row will be the decrease with the smaller hook, and then the next 4 rows will be with this, where I'll just be going around with the single crochet, and then I will do my straps, and my straps are going to be in this color. That is, if there's enough, and I believe it'll be enough to do my straps because they're not that big. And then after I complete the bag, then I will switch over to this color, and I will either do 1 row of this to trim it, or I may even take it to 2 rows. We'll see. So I'm going to pause you again. Let's go on and just knock out that last 5 rows, because it's going to really, I think it's going to add more oomph to the bag, and it's really going to make a difference. If you stop here, I think you'll get more out of the bag if we go another 5 rows, and that won't take that long. I mean, I've been working for an hour. Another 10 minutes or so for the next 5 rows. That'll be it. Okay, so I will be back. Alrighty, y'all, it is 1 in the morning, 1:12, but that's okay. We're finally done. 25 rows look a lot better. Now, I mentioned that we would be decreasing. I don't think we're going to need to, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to do this full row, and we're going to see. So don't start. Watch me, and we're going to see how it works out, because it should pull in. See how wide it is? It should pull in on its own, because first of all, I just changed hooks. I changed from the size I to the size H. That's going to help in itself, because this is a smaller hook, so it's going to tighten up the stitch. We're going to do the single crochet in every hole. So we're not chaining, we're just going to single crochet around. So I mean, if you want to do it, you can, because you can pretty much probably look at your bag and tell what's getting ready to happen. But I was just saying, if you're not quite sure, watch me, because we might have to decrease. So I would hate for you to work twice. So let's start. Okay, smaller hook. And I'm thinking this will pull it in. In fact, looking at this now, I can tell you, get to crocheting, okay? You're not going to have to decrease at all. Not at all. See how it's pulling in already. Already. Shoot. I probably should have left it. You know what? Stop. Go back to your bigger hook, because that smaller hook is going to close it up too much. And what's going to happen is, and see, this is my first tutorial, so yep, I will make mistakes. And it's been over a year since I've made this bag. Okay, here we go. Okay, I went back with the size I hook, and that's going to at least keep it looser, although it's going to see how it's going in, but it's not going in as much as it did when I was using that smaller hook. So I know that the bag won't close to the point where you can't get anything in it. The objective is for it to close subtly so that you'll still be able to get any item that you need to get in there, yet and still you'll see that it has decreased enough to turn it into a bag. And that's what this size I, hook is doing. I really like how it's closing it in. And then as it closes in, well, after we finish this row, the initial close-in row, then we're going to do 3 more rows of single crochet with the same size hook, and it's going to really look polished after that. Don't worry about how it's looking now, because when we start going around, it's going to be closed in and it's going to look a lot better than what it looks now. Okay, and we're just about done with this row. Okay, we are done. Ooh, this really closed, but it won't close any further. But I still think you'll be able to get your items in the bag. You know what? Let me try something. I'm taking it down. I think I'm going to add 2 stitches. I don't want it this, I want it to flow freely. I don't want it to be that tight. So pause for a minute. Okay, so I put a stitch right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 stitches in each thing instead of 1. And it should still close because we're skipping that single crochet. We're just crocheting in the gap. So I'm putting 2 stitches right there inside of the gap. And then that single crochet stands alone. And because of that, it's going to cause the bag to close. I think by putting 2 stitches in, it's not going to close as tightly, yet and still it is going to close. And this might be what I've done before, but I just don't remember. It's been over a year since I've made the market bag. And it's clear across the room. I didn't really study it at the top to see how I did that. But see how it's still closing, but it's not closing as tight. So rip out whatever you've done and just put 2 single crochets in each space. That's all you need to do. And just work your way all the way around. In fact, you can look at it and tell that it's taking shape. See how it's taking shape? And then when we get to the next row, we'll only put 1 single crochet in, and so it's going to go in an even flow. And it'll tighten up just a wee bit more, but it's not going to be too tight like it was when I was trying to just put 1 in. It'll be more subtle, yet and still it'll still be a bag. One of my neighbors, I can hear music coming through my door. He plays his music real loud every single night, all night. And the other day the police was there, maybe 5 cars. I think I was on film, filming a video. Remember when I said I saw the police, one that pulled in my driveway? I believe I was filming for this channel. Same neighbor. So I see he's right back at it. So somebody will call the police again. And he just moved in, the only renter on our street. And I try not to be discriminatory because the first thing I noticed after I had purchased my first home, people would talk about renters will bring down the property value of your neighborhood and stuff. And it bothered me at first, and I thought, wow, is that what they thought about me when I was renting? You know, although I always took care of every place I had as if I owned it. And so I make it a point not to talk about renters. But in this case, he doesn't seem to care. And then he has a lot of children. They're just everywhere. Okay, so I just finished the row. See how this looks? This is so much better. Perfect. I can get anything in here. If I wanted to put a beach towel in there, and believe me, this could be used as a beach bag. It will stretch to that point. And so it won't stretch at the top, but the bottom part will stretch. So this is really, really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go around 3 more times, because remember, I'm keeping mine this color. So mine is going to be my whole bag is going to be one solid color until I trim it with this. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I might not trim it. I might just leave it solid. That's what I'm if I have enough yarn. I think I have enough to get the straps made and to do the trim. And it'll just be a solid colored bag. Now that I'm looking at it up against the bag, I don't like this. A black would look really nice with this. So, but I don't feel like going in there. I'm lazy tonight. I don't feel like going in there digging out the black. Okay, so now we're just going to go around each stitch. Every single stitch. No, we don't need to decrease or anything. We'll go around every single stitch. And it won't close. It shouldn't close any further. But if it does a little bit, that's okay, because it's not going to close to the point to where you can't get anything in there. It's not going to do anything like it did that first row when I was trying to just crochet 1 stitch in each space. Because it's 2 stitches, we're just following along. And let me show it to you. Now, row 2, this is how it's looking now. So by the time we get to row 4, it's going to be up to here where you see my finger, and it's going to look a lot better. So I tell you what, I'm going to pause you again because this video is really long. I didn't know it was going to go almost an hour. But anyway, I'm going to pause you, and I'll meet you back once I have the 4th row. Actually, I will be doing 5 rows because I'm keeping mine the same color. I'm not going to add this. So I'll be doing 5 rows. If you want to keep yours solid, 5 rows. If you're going to change colors, do 4 rows. Okay, shall return. Okay, y'all, I'm just doing 4 rows. I think this is thick enough. I love it. Be right back. Okay, I just finished up. I did only 4 rows because it's getting pretty tall and it was starting to close in just a wee bit too much. So I said 4 rows should be enough for me, and it's thick. I wanted that thick border. So what I'm doing, I'm on the last stitch. Last stitch, you're gonna slip stitch. So your border can be however you want it. You might not want it this thick. You might want it only 2 rows. You might want it 1 row. You might want it 10 rows. It's up to you. But when you get to that last stitch, when you're finished with it, just slip stitch in that stitch. And what I like to do to close it off, I usually chain 2. I'll chain 2 after that, and then I'll cut it. And this is the part where you would weave in your end with the darning needle. You would weave that end in. What I'll do is I'll take my crochet hook. I'll go across 1. Then I'll go across 2, 3, 4. Usually I'll come backwards, but because we're going to be doing the strap, anything that's loose will be crocheted in. So it's never going to come back out. So I'm just going across like that. And then I'm going to leave that little nub there so that I can remember to make sure that I crochet across it. And that's it. Then you remove your stitch marker, but you're going to need it again in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is the bag thus far. See how it looks? And it makes for a nice size market bag. And see how it kind of smiles. It looks like a little smiley face at the top. That's exactly how I like it. So we're going to keep it just like that. And then what I like to do is flatten it out a little bit. See, like that. And I hold it up. Now, this is the part where we're going to put the straps on. And it shouldn't be difficult for you. What you're going to do, you're going to hold it up like this. And you want it to have this shape right here, like a pineapple. If you put it this way, it doesn't look the same. So, you're going in the same direction that you were crocheting. And you'll know because when you hold it up, it'll look like this. Now, what you're going to do, this is one end where one strap will go, and this is where the second strap will go on this end. Well, we need to mark that off. We'll make it easy on ourselves. So remember I said I usually go 12. So from the end here where you see this hump, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All you need to do is count 6. And then you're going to take your stitch marker and you're going to turn it this way. The point is facing towards you, but it's going to be facing away from you. Your stitch marker, make sure that the part that you hook faces away from you and you stick it in going forward. That's because we're going to start our strap here and it'll be easier to remove your stitch marker because it's in that direction. And then you're going to do the same on this side. So you're going to count down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your straps will be totally even. And this one, you're going to bring it towards you, the stitch marker, not away from you. Because when we start on this side, we're going to be over here, so it flip-flops. So now we have our straps measured out. And like I said, we're going to be doing 12 stitches, but we only needed to count 6 because we doubled it. So we have 6 on this side and 6 on this side, and that's 12. Okay? So once you do that, you're going to get your yarn and you're going to get your hook. Now, if you want to go to that smaller hook for this part, you can, or you can continue with your larger hook. I'm going to go with the smaller hook so that my straps won't stretch as much. Okay, so now you see where you put that stitch marker? You're going to go right into that top stitch right there above the stitch marker, and you're just going to join your yarn in. You just slip it in. And what I like to do is, when I do that, I'll chain 1 because that secures the yarn. You are going to crochet over the tail, so this will not come loose at all. So you have that chain there, and then what I usually do is go into that same stitch and do a single crochet. We have 1. Then I do the second one, 2. And we're going to stop after we get 12. 3. Because it might not reach the other side, but it could. I don't know. But that's okay. Stop once you have 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to open your stitch marker and leave it on the other side, just like that. Because you've started your strap. Okay, so we're 4. And I'm going to do this whole row. 5. 6, and my tail is totally disappeared and it's secured. 7, 8, and I know this is backwards to you. I'm gonna turn it around. 9. Ooh, and the music finally stopped. 10, and right now I'm going over that second tail that I weaved in when I got done. 11. 12. And no, it will not reach the marker. Actually, I would have needed to do 2 more stitches. So I would have went 14 if I wanted to reach the marker. At this point, just remove your marker. And you can use it as your guide as you go along. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to decrease. Now this part, and this is how it looks on the correct side. Okay, so we crochet 12 stitches across. Now to decrease, first of all, you're going to turn your bag. So now my bag, the right way is facing you, but this is actually the way it needs to be. Now this is how you decrease, and we're going to decrease until we have only 8 stitches. So now we're getting ready to single crochet 11 stitches. And I'm gonna stay on camera until we get to the 8th. And then once we get to that, then I'll have you to finish up the first strap with me off camera. Ooh, this thing, okay, this is going over an hour. I'm apologizing, but it just took this long. Okay, now, instead of going into the first single crochet there, you're not going to chain 1 at all. You just turn your work after you finish those 12 single crochets. Turn your work, skip the first one, go into the second one. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to barely have enough yarn. 7, 8, yeah, I'm going to be playing yarn chicken. 9, 10, and then there's one more. It may not look like it, but you're going to go into that last one. 11. So instead of 12, now you have 11 stitches. And you always go into that last stitch. And see how the decrease, it's going into a triangle shape, and it will even out. Because right now this side isn't in a triangle shape, it's straight. But when you get to this side, now 10. So we're going to go into the second crochet. The second single crochet, you're not going to chain. You're just going to turn your work and go into the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we're going to turn it. Now you can see where it's going. It's starting to come in. And there's only 2 more rows left of the decrease. Turn it, second one, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See how it looks? Now we're going to turn it, and now we're on our row 8, which is where we're going to stop it. We can actually go to 7. Let's go to 7. Okay, row 8, or 8 stitches. Okay, you turned your work, you didn't chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one, 8. Now we're going to row 7, or to 7 stitches. Okay, this is the one you're just going to turn it, but you're not going to chain, and we're going to do 7. But what you're going to do after you do that first one, you're going to put your stitch marker in. Okay, 1, 2, I'm just getting a little ways, 3. You're going to put your stitch marker in because it lets you know you're not going to decrease anymore. So you put your stitch marker there and you know where your actual strap, where it's going to be the same width, will begin. So that will stay there until you're done with your strap. Let's finish it out. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we're at the end of the row and there's no more decreasing. So now, to keep the strap straight, you're going to chain 1 at the end. Every time you do your 7 single crochets, before you turn, chain 1 at the end. And then turn your work. And then you're going to go back into the first single crochet, just like as if you were, making a blanket or something like that, so that your ends will stay straight. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, this is the row where I'm going to leave you. This is actually row 2. Your stitch marker lets you know. You had row 1, you just finished row 2. And let me hold it up. I have a feeling that I'm not holding this up enough for you to see it. Okay, so now you are going to do a total. Actually, you can do as many rows as you want. You might want a real long strap where you're going to just sling it across your, this way, or you might just sling it from your shoulder. I like to put my bags over my shoulder. So therefore, I'm going to do 20 rows. So I have 2 complete. This is going to go very, very fast because you're only doing 7 single crochets. So think about it. 7 times 20 is what? 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 20 is 140. So technically, you're only doing 140 stitches. You'll probably be done with your strap within the next 5 minutes, okay? It's going to go very, very fast. So once you get to the 20th row, you'll end on the same side as the stitch marker because that's the even side. Once you get done with your 20th row, chain 2 and cut it. But when you cut it, leave a tail at least this long because we're going to crochet those 2 straps because we're going to do the same on the other side. Now I'm going to come back and take you through that as well. But on this one, leave a long tail because when we get the second strap done, we're going to flip the bag inside out and we're going to single crochet with the tail all the way across, and then we're going to cut it, and then our bag will be complete. Finally, huh? Okay. All right. I'll meet you back up when it's time to start the second strap, and then that will be our final pause, and then we'll finish up after that. Hey, perfection takes time, so therefore, this went over an hour, but that's okay. It was fun. Shall return. My friends, please forgive me. I made a mistake. I said the single crochet 20 rows. Actually, the strap should have been a double crochet of 20 rows. So because we did the single crochet, we need to do, we'll stop it at 35. So after you get 20 rows, do 15 more if you've done the single crochet. If you want to frog it and do the double, I'm not frogging, diddly squit, okay? But if you want to frog it and do double crochet, you can. So, and then you will stop at 20 rows. But actually, the single crochet looks pretty good. And then once we trim it, it's going to really look good. So anyway, 35 rows, you guys. So I have 15 to go. Okay, I am back, you guys. I just finished the first strap, 35 rows, and I left that tail that I was telling you about. Now we're going to start on the second strap. Now, I'm just going to explain this one. because you've done the first one, so you'll probably remember. You're going to start with 12 single crochet. It should have been double, but that's okay. Okay, so once you bring the yarn in right where that stitch marker begins, remember to chain 1 to lock it in. Then you're going to single crochet into that same stitch. That's 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to unsnap. Remember, since we turned it around, the stitch marker is facing us. Unsnapped it, and then we're just going to come across, excuse me, the midnight sneeze, y'all. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And guess what? This one was right on the money. I beat the stitch marker chicken, y'all. The other one I was off by 2. But believe me, these straps are even. I just placed the stitch marker in the wrong spot. And you will see that as we go along. You can look right here and tell that it's even. Okay, so remember, we do not chain at the end of this row. We turn it, and instead of going into the first single crochet, we're going to go into the second single crochet for 11 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we're going to turn it again, go into the second one for a total of 10 single crochets. 1, and I'm going to take you up to 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it, 9. Skip the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Turn it, skip the first one for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to turn it for 7. And remember, we're going to place the stitch marker this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we're going to place our stitch marker right into that first single crochet, right at the edge, so that we'll know that this is the row where we started. Now, as you know, we're doing 35 rows total. So this is row 1 of the 35. We have 34 more rows to go. Okay, and you chain at the end because you're going to go into that first single crochet. Now, I'm going to leave you here, and when we come back, we are going to join our strap, and then we are going to do our border, and I am playing yarn chicken. Tell me, do you think I'm going to beat the yarn chicken? I have to get 34 more rows with this, and I have to be able to border this. I kind of think I'll beat the yarn chicken, but I'm going to come close, you guys, because the single crocheting eats up the yarn. So we'll see what happens. And you saw how big this ball was when I started. It was a full skein of cotton yarn. So for a bag, you're going to use a skein. Shall return. And then we're going to take it on home. Okay, I am back and we are in the final stretch. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you. We're going to finish this. And if you use the single crochet like I did, this bag is top heavy. The double crochet keeps it lightweight. You know, even this is lightweight. The single crochet going around, it actually adds balance to the bag, but the heavy straps I do not like. So although I'm going to finish this off, I will be frogging it. So you won't see me weaving in any ends, and it'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to take the straps down and I'm going to do the double crochet straps going up because it will make the bag lighter. So I'm letting you know that. Now, the heavier top might not bother you, especially if you're planning on using this for a beach bag or if you want a little more strength to the bag. It's just a little more heavier, but I'm used to the lightweight market bags. I like a lightweight bag I could just sling and fling and do all the things, okay? So let's get started with attaching the straps. And we're staying on camera this time. I'm not pausing. First of all, you want to flip your bag inside out. Okay? Remember that tail on that first one? It's a little longer than this one because I'm using this one right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to match up your straps from the bottom. I like to match it from the bottom. And then you check it at the top and you can see that it's even. If you do it from the top down, for some reason, it never comes out even. But if you do it from the bottom up, it does. So that long tail right here, actually, this may not be enough yarn for me to single crochet across. I can put it, in fact, I'm going to do it. Okay, Q's getting ready to use the darning needle. Only because I didn't make my tail long enough. And I'm already playing yarn chicken, so I don't feel like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it. Because I just rather, well, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm frogging this. If I was going to not frog this, I would use I would crochet, I would do the double crochet, the single crochet across to hook my straps. But since I'm going to be frogging these straps and redoing them, I'm just going to use the darning needle. But you could do it either way. You can use your darning needle to hook your strap, or you can single crochet your way across. And it's not even enough yarn for me to do the darning needle. I might barely make it. Now I'm really playing yarn chicken. I'm obsessed with yarn chicken. That's why when I found the button, I had to buy two, okay? One is attached to my bag, and this other one I wear whenever I beat it. And I saved my plastic. It'll go right back into the packaging once I'm through with this video. And I just beat it again. Barely. But I beat it. Wop wop! Okay, so. Uh-oh. Why isn't the other end coming out? Where is it? Hold on. Now I'm having... Okay, here we go. Oh, I beat it well. I beat it well. And I'm going to just leave it hanging because it's going to be coming loose. But I just wanted to show you. Then after you hook your straps at the top, then you turn your bag back the correct way. And this is how it'll look at the top. I mean, you can see the line where you've hooked it. Actually, if you crochet it, it's more seamless. This way, with the darning needle, for me, it's a seam there. And then this long tail right here, normally I would crochet that in while I'm doing my edging. But because I'm taking it down, I may crochet it in. It doesn't matter because this whole section, other than the border, is coming down. These straps are coming down, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to do our edging, and this is how we finish the bag up. And so, like I said, I'll stay on camera. I always start right at the corner of the strap. It just seems like a good little bite spot to me. I call it the bite. Okay, so, and we're going to bring the yarn through the bite, as I call it, and we're going to do the same thing like we did with the strap. Chain 1 to attach, and then we're going to crochet over the tail. We're doing the exact same thing we did before when we did our strap. So what we're going to do, we're going around, and that's why I stopped at 4. I knew that was high enough because I thought, okay, I'm going to be doing the edging to this bag, and so that's going to give me my 5. I didn't want it to go to 6. So that's why I stopped at 4 when I went around the bag, because I knew I would be doing the 5th, and I knew it was going to be the same color. Now, had it been a different color, and see this? Now, I'm going to leave this right here, that tail, but if I was actually not going to frog this, I would take that tail and pull it to the inner part of the bag so that no one would see it, like that, and then I would cut it. I would not weave it in. If a professional would weave it in, it would be flawless, but I'm not a professional. I crochet, but I don't sell my work anymore. Well, never really did. And that's why I'm getting ready to do that hot takes video, because some of it's going to have to do with sales and hookups and all that stuff. I'm just going to tell y'all the beautiful truth, okay? When it comes to my crochet pet peeves. So, if you want to ask me any questions about crochet and my pet peeves, what I like, what I don't like, feel free. I can add that into the hot takes and answer your questions. I'm going to do it all about me pretty soon, where if it's any questions you have, I will answer them, and I will announce when I'm getting ready to do that, because then that thread on that video will be where the questions will be asked and where I will pull my questions from. Okay, so now when you get to the side of the strap, I just came across the bottom. I started at the bite, and then I came all the way across here, and now I'm getting ready to go up the side of the strap. And what you do is you keep it even. You can place the single crochet wherever you want it, but just try to keep it even. Try not to leave any gaps. And if you were to not put the seam, this is how it would look. But you can see where I started the seam, and this is, started the edging. Well, actually, I'll wait until I get up all the way up the side, and then I'll show it to you. I can compare it to the other side, and then you'll see how it would look if I didn't do the edging, and how it would look if I, because I did. And I have some where I've left it with no edging, because the edging does widen the bag. Although, we went with 7, once you get the edging on both sides, technically the strap is going to be 9 stitches wide, because you're putting a single crochet on this side and another single crochet will go on that side. So it widens up the strap. Technically, I should have went down to 5, and then the 2 sides would have brought me up to 7. But that's okay. I might do that when I do the double crochet strap. I'll just make my adjustment then. Because remember, if I beat the yarn chicken now, I'll beat it even with the double crochet, because I won't be doing as many rows. I will be doing a total of 20 rows as opposed to 35 rows. It will make a difference. And the strap will end up being a little bit longer at 20 rows. Okay, so we're halfway through. And this part, it's a little tricky when you come down the side, so it takes a little bit longer. But I just wanted to show you the process. So now that we've gotten this side of it done, see how it looks after you, if you look at this side compared to that side, see how much polished that looks? It looks a lot better. So if you're like me and you're going to take your strap down so that you could do the double crochet, I say decrease until you get to 5 instead of 7. And then that way your strap won't be that wide. Unless you like a wide strap. Everybody has different tastes. I like width, but I think for the strap, especially with the double crochet, I think I'm going to want it a little bit more. I want it to look like the other bag, because I know how that feels. I love how it feels. It's just lightweight, slingy, and flingy. So this will duplicate that. And I may end up gifting this bag as well after I'm finished with it, simply because I still have that Noro, what's it called? A single yarn. Remember, I have the black, I have that lime mustard color, and I also have that fuchsia color. And so that's going to be, I'll be able to get 2 bags out of the black. I'll be able to get 1 bag out of the fuchsia, because I doubled that. I doubled the black. No, I didn't. Did I double the black? Yes, I did double the black, but I had more skeins. So I could still get 2 bags out of it. And then the lime mustard, I'll get 1 bag if I double it, and I'll get 2 bags if I leave it single. And I'm thinking about making 2 bags with that singly. And I'll use those bags. It won't be for market. It'll probably be for, catch-all, like my medicine. I might put, there was some things I thought about putting in there, like some knickknacks, garden stuff, that type of thing. I can think that embroidery stuff, I can use it for that. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that lime mustard color. I won't use those for market bags. I'll use the 2 black and then that lavender for that. Okay, we're almost done with one side. And then we're going to have to take the yarn off, and then we'll be doing the same thing on the other side. And I will pause you for that, because I feel as if this is going too long. This bag took me approximately, let me see what time it is. I know it's after 3. It's 3:12. And so this took me, I started on this bag at about 10. It took about 5 hours. Normally it wouldn't take this long, but for one, I'm noticing, because I'm now farsighted, I crochet a little bit slower. It might seem like I'm going fast, but it takes me longer because I really have to focus. I don't, if I wear my readers while crocheting, now with the black yarn, I have to wear the readers. I can't see a thing. Lighter colors like this, I can see, but I still have to let my eyes focus. And I noticed a couple of times I had to put my re-wetting drops in because my eyes started burning because I was straining them. So I'm still trying to adjust to being farsighted, and it has slowed me down crocheting, which is fine. I don't need to, go extra fast. So, okay, let's end this right at the bite. So we have 2 more stitches to go. 1, 2. And then you slip stitch right where you began. Pull it through, chain 2, and then this is the part where you would take, I usually leave a long tail. Now I don't use the darning needle. I usually take my crochet hook, and you saw me do it on the other side, when I ended the bag earlier. So I just pull it back and forth, and then, I'm not even going to weave this in, but I'll pull it back and forth. That's how I do it. Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to do this side of the bag. This is how it looks, and then we'll be done, and we'll wrap this up. I know this went a long time. I guess y'all said, I'm not going to ask you to do another tutorial. But you know what? It takes a while to do a tutorial. This is my first time ever doing one. I had no idea what to expect. I think I explained a little bit too much. I don't know. I feel like I rambled some. But I didn't expect this video to go an hour. I figured at the most it would go 20 minutes because I knew I would be pausing and things like that, but nope. It just took that long. I tried to explain thoroughly. I hope you guys understood me. So be honest, was it confusing to you? Did it seem to be explained well? Did I ramble too much? Let me know. And if I ever do another tutorial, I think I'm going to do one on the trashy shawl. That'll be a lot simpler than the bag because it's so cut and dry. So if that's something you're interested in, what else? I don't know. A few other things, that I like to make that's quick and simple and that can be of good use. My other quirky Q bags, with the scrap yarn. This isn't the only style of bag. I make round bags, like that watermelon bag. I use the scrap yarn. And I make square bags. So just let me know. Hats. I make scarves. Things like that. So Afghans. Yep. So just let me know if it's something that you'd like to see demonstrated or possibly a tutorial. Now, it won't be that many. I'm letting you know that now. Oh, and I'm supposed to be paused. Be back when I'm all done. Okay, I am back. I expected to make this look a little more polished, but y'all know what's getting ready to happen. So I did not cut the yarn or anything like that because I will be taking it down. I beat the yarn chicken, so that's good to know. So, wop wop, still the champ. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking this down and I'm going to be doing the 20 rows of double crochet, and I think not only will it look better, it will feel more balanced and lightweight, which is the way that I want it. And so all these strings, I will come back on tomorrow, or well, the next time that I do a video. This will be complete and I will show you the completed bag then. And now I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, tell me, should I add the second color for the trim or should I leave it solid like this? It just seems a little dead like this, and this is such a pretty color. I thought about adding black, but I don't want to add black I thought about white. I have a like a pine green, I think, in there. Or if you can think of a color, I think I have yellow. So tell me, what color would you like for me to trim this in? And I just dropped that ball in there. See how it stretched when I did that? So this bag will give you a lot of stretch. This actual bag could be used as a beach bag easily. You can get a beach towel, swimsuit, whatever in this bag, and it would just stretch outward. In fact, once I finish it, when I show it the next time, I'm going to put a towel in it, or I will put this shawl in this bag, and you'll see just how far it will stretch. I'll probably just go with a towel to show you the beachy look, because I don't want to stretch it that much with that shawl. But anyway, this is it, you guys. The market bag, and this is just a traditional round market bag. And like I said, it took me 5 hours to make it. Typically, if my eyesight was the old way, it would have taken me about maybe 2.5 hours. I would have watched TV and just worked on it, and I would have been done in no time. So anyway, that's it. So I'm going to set it down. I'm getting ready to get in bed because it is, what time is it? 3:26, y'all. And I got to get up early because I have to go get that tire. Then I'm expecting the call from the insurance people. So y'all pray that Michigan Basic accepts me, okay? And pray that it's cheaper. So that's it. So I will talk to you guys later. And may God bless you all. Bye-bye. And this was a joy to do. Tell me if you enjoyed the video. Please like and comment if you like. And subscribe for those of you who aren't subscribed. But I really enjoyed that. So thank you for requesting it. I think it was Linda who requested to see a tutorial of the diamond mesh stitch. So I hope I was able to be thorough with it and to help you. Let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.